welcome back to Toronto Talk Sports some more. It's your guy NWB, and here we are talking some NBA with a roundtable, presenting with, first off, Shelly from She Loves the Raptors. How's it going?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Very good. And also, we have a Florida man, if you will, Mr. Seby from the Seby podcast. How you doing, mate?
We're doing good. We're doing good here. Appreciate it.
Good. And we have basketball, regular season basketball. We've restarted down in Disney World in your state, Seby. The NBA season restarted. We're back into it, and within a few games, we'll be into the playoffs. So I guess the first question for you both is, what's been your biggest surprise in the week that's passed since the season restarted? Seby?
There's obviously been a lot of surprises. I would say one of the biggest ones would be the Rockets. I think the Rockets put everybody on notice, basically saying that, D'Antoni's kind of revolutionized this small ball effect. And the way that Russell Westbrook has played in the second half of the season has been like light years from what everybody expected. Obviously, James Harden didn't have a great game opposite of Dallas, but against the Bucks, he didn't have a really good game because of foul trouble. But I think the Rockets believe, obviously, they're going to get out-rebounded every game. We know that because they're small. But I guess their philosophy is if we can hit perimeter shots and if James and Russ get going in an open gym environment like this, look out. The Rockets is the one team I would say that can blow this thing open. And that means they can potentially the LA teams wouldn't want to face either of those teams heading to the Western Conference Finals. So I think the Rockets are the one team that they don't want to face in their route to that. But yeah, the Rockets has been very impressive to me as well.
Indeed. And it'll be interesting to see if they can keep this amazing run up down the stretch. James Harden's obviously looking a lot slimmer, looking a bit more mobile, and that's translating to even more points on the court. Shelly, what's been your biggest surprise so far in the last week since the regular season restarted?
I would agree. I think the Rockets, very surprised, especially with Westbrook coming back the way he did, having fought COVID and everything. It was definitely impressive. I think another team that's really impressing me are the Suns. I mean, you've got them placed in the 12th in the West, and here you got Booker, knocking down 30 points a game. It's pretty impressive. I think they won their last 4 games in a row, including the preseason games. Ricky Rubio also making his shots. So I think for me, it was definitely the Phoenix Suns. I didn't expect them to come out so hot. So for me, it would have been that team. Right.
Now, just thinking about the awards. Now, the MVP award, I guess, voting has been based off the season stopping in March. So that's that. But some awards have already been starting to be handed out. You may have seen last week the Coach of the Year award was announced, and it was Mike Budenholzer from the Bucks and Billy Donovan from OKC in a tie. And Nick Nurse from the Toronto Raptors was actually one vote behind from making it a three-way tie. So my question is this: is Nick Nurse still being slept on as a top coach, an upper echelon NBA coach, or is this what you could call some shade from his peers, given that he won the championship and he's seemingly running it back without Kawhi? Shelly, you're the Raptors girl in the house.
Yes, I absolutely think that he's being slept on, of course. But I can't say that I'm entirely surprised being his second-year head coach of an NBA league team. This was a vote amongst the coaches. This wasn't the media's vote. So amongst the coaches, you never know. Being seasoned coaches, and you've got, you're up against somebody who's already won a championship in their first year, second year nominated, as a potential coach of the year. It could be political. I don't know. I can't say, but I absolutely think he's being slept on as an elite coach. He should be ranked as one of the top performers, just in terms of his performance, his ability to coach a team. I mean, yes, we had Kawhi last season, but we don't have any elite stars on our team this year, other than the fact that we think Kyle Lowry is our elite player. But having a team of fairly young players and coaching them to a championship and now second in the East, he deserves the credit. But again, it comes down to what the other coaches think and feel as they, as a colleague, as a fellow head coach.
Indeed. Seby, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Very good, very good. Now, you're obviously in the States, so you might have a slightly different view. I mean, Jalen Rose seems to believe that Nick Nurse is in that conversation as well to be one of the best coaches in the NBA. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely, 100%. Now, that's coming from a Celtics fan. I'm a huge Celtics fan. Everybody knows him bleed green. But, yeah, Nick Nurse, what he's done in like a year and a half, almost 2 years is like paramount already. The Raptors, he doesn't get a lot of credit. I don't think people tend to forget, Kawhi Leonard missed 22 games last year, and the team went 17-5 without him on the lineup. And so that wasn't just the players, but that was schematically what Nick Nurse was drawing up, schematically what he was putting in defensively. People tend to forget in the finals, he had the balls to put a 1-3-1 box against Curry and Klay Thompson. No coach would ever thought about doing that. So Nick Nurse is phenomenal. He's up and coming. I think he was well-deserving. If I had a pick, I would actually have Billy Donovan and him as coaches of the year rather than Mike Budenholzer and Billy Donovan. So I also think the Grizzlies coach should have got recognition as well, because the Grizzlies would have been a lottery team. They should have never been in this position anyways, but no doubt the Toronto Raptors, Nick Nurse, it's malpractice to know that he didn't earn the award.
That's right. And you only need to look back to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. The Raptors fell into a hole against the Bucks, which were coached by Budenholzer. But Nurse, it would appear that Nurse made adjustments, and he was able to get the team to go from an 0-2 hole to winning 4 straight and winning that series to go to the finals. Further to that, when you look at this season, a number of starters have left the lineup with injury. When you look at Gasol, Ibaka, Lowry, Norman Powell, they've all spent time on the sidelines, but Nurse has curated this system where it's next man up. It doesn't matter. He's able to keep the train rolling, if you will. So you got to give him credit for that, especially with Kawhi being out of town nowadays. So it'll be very interesting to see what the media or the writers say when they put in their votes for the Coach of the Year. Yeah. But just switching gears, guys, one of the things that has been, I guess, a standout of this restart has been the social justice and the NBA players and coaches taking a stand. So one of these things has been on the back of the jersey, players have been able to choose a message or a name that speaks to a social justice and civil rights issue that is on their heart. And also during the national anthem, this is a particularly controversial topic in some spaces. Almost everyone kneeled during the national anthem in the last week when the league restarted, except one player, Jonathan Isaac from Orlando Magic. Now, he had his reasons for not doing it. He had his beliefs, which he explained later on. He would then go on to get injured. He would suffer a season-ending ACL tear. And it blew up. The internet came at him, and people were saying, well, that's your justice, that's karma. I guess injury aside, because we want to see the best players out there, and Isaac is probably the best player in the Magic. But that aside, Seby, what is your take on his decision not to kneel, his decision to stand during the national anthem last week? What was your take on that?
Well, obviously, Jonathan Isaac, knowing him personally, we're good friends actually. And knowing Jonathan personally, he's a guy, he's a very God-fearing man, definitely believes in his faith and stuff like that. And so I think the message that he was portraying got misconstrued. The message that he was basically putting out is, like, we need to see the aspect of us as, darker pigmentation or people with how, lighter complexion people view us, and the segregation aspect, the oppression aspect. I guess that's what he wanted to portray. We're talking about police brutality here. We're talking about other circumstances as in terms of being degrading. And so that's where I think his stance was. Now, when he got, sadly, he got injured again in that same left knee, you saw people on Twitter putting just like, things that is unimaginable. Why would you even tweet stuff like that? And so, I can't speak for people's behavior about those stuff that they've done. Obviously, anybody who speaks bad on somebody actually getting hurt or actually wanting to have somebody hurt is just beyond sad to even think about. It's quite pathetic, actually. But just thinking that, it's sad to think that, for his stance and what he believed in, and then he got hurt, people are using that against him and kind of backlashing him for that, which is actually not right. It's not what you're supposed to do, because you actually shouldn't, wish anything bad upon a player, let alone somebody who just recovered from a nasty injury. And so for him to re-injure that and people backlashing for that is just not right. And so,
right. And
but the best, but
yeah. And we do wish him the best for his recovery. And no, I wouldn't wish injury on anyone. We can have players that we like and players that we may not like, but wishing injury or misfortune like that, that's definitely a step too far.
Right.
Shelly, what was your take on the situation?
I agree with Seby entirely. This isn't one of those situations where, he's paying the price for not standing. He has his own beliefs, he has his own faith, and he has his own convictions. And for whatever reason, he decided to stand. He never once said he's not supportive of the movement. It's just, what he believes, his truth is what he needs to follow. Just because everybody else is doing something or making a statement in a way that they choose to doesn't mean everyone has to follow suit. I think the important thing is that we're together in this, and we're supporting the cause and trying to move forward whichever way we choose to do so. I think there was a media outlet that even had posted after he had injured himself about it being funny that there was a poll or something, that it being funny that, that ironically that he had injured himself when he chose not to stand, and immediately taken down. But it just goes to show you, people are losing sight of what really matters here. Why are we even focusing on the injury being a lesson for him versus the fact that, this is a human being, an individual, a person first, who has their own beliefs, who's standing up for what they believe in. Whether you agree or not is not up to you, but to mock him or laugh at him, after sustaining such an injury is almost as bad as saying that the other person is wrong. So to me, I think that absolutely, I don't think he's doing it out of any type of facetiousness or anything that, goes against what he wants to contribute to the movement. But the injury is definitely unfortunate, and I really hope he recovers quickly and is able to get back to what he loves and to the cause that he's supporting.
That's the thing. That's a very good point. I think it's important sometimes that we as consumers, because we're consumers here, we're viewers, we watch the sport, we're fans. Sometimes we look at a moment and we may misinterpret, we may not understand the context, because this man has his beliefs, but people may not see them for what they are. People may misinterpret it as something else. So I think we as fans and also as human beings, we need to dig deeper sometimes and dig beyond the headline and see what this person's actually trying to say with their message or with whatever stand they choose to take. Because there will be some people that will misconstrue it and that will paint someone in a bad light as a result. And I think that's what may have happened here. Mm-hmm. Again, we wish Jonathan all the best in his recovery, and we hope to see him back on the court. Because honestly, I think he's the best player on the Magic, and they were doing really well before he went down. So it's sad to see him off the court. Guys, it's been a great chat. We'll have to do it again soon. Seby, before we get you out of here, where can our people find you on social media?
Yeah, obviously, you guys can find us everywhere on Seby Podcast. Now it's not just a podcast, it's actually a media company now. So Twitter and Instagram is our social media handles for promotions, but you can also find us on any of our audio segments. on Spotify and iTunes, and some of our interviews with head coaches and players on YouTube as well. Seby Podcast.
Very good. And Shelly, where can the people find you on Instagram and other social media platforms?
We're on Instagram at She Loves the Raptors. It's a fan-based forum that supports female fans. So please join us and be a part of the fanfare.
Very good. If you want to hear more from me, you can find me on Instagram at TheRealNWB. But until next time, this has been Toronto Talk Sports and more. For the love of the Six, let's connect.
Thank you for watching. Please click the like button and leave us a comment with your feedback. And don't forget to subscribe with notifications to see more engaging and interactive content. Toronto Talk Sports and more. For the love of the Six, let's connect.